Hello gamers! So there's been a lot of talk recently about whether universities are worth it, are they overspending, are they failing, and there's just been so much speculation, and I really think this is harmful to the group of students who are about to go and apply for university, who are thinking about applying to university, because it's discouraging them from applying by fear-mongering and making it sound like degrees aren't worth it anymore, which is something that I just don't believe, and we have the stats to prove that. So I'm going to specifically talk a little bit about degrees in the games industry, because that's the industry I work in, it's the area that I teach in, so this is the part that's sort of relevant to me. And yes, I work at a university, I am a lecturer, but I am in no way telling you to go to university. I just want us to have some of the facts. So according to the Yuki census, which is done every couple of years, that 82% of people working in the games industry have an undergraduate degree at least. Nearly 30% have a postgraduate degree, so a master's or a PhD of some kind, which, given that the stats for just the workforce in general are lower than that in both areas, that's incredibly high, and it still says to me that a degree is worth it if that is what the industry is currently looking for and that is our current standards. If you are a student thinking about getting into games, you absolutely can do it on your own, but it is very, very difficult. And there are lots of people who have done it on their own and have made indie studios or have managed to get that job without the degree, but it's rare. There are actually 3 things that I think a good games degree can give you that I think are much harder to do on your own. One of those is a portfolio. It is really hard to build a portfolio on your own. The reason I say that is because a portfolio takes time, it takes small concentrated pieces of work around a specific area of study or practice, and then putting them into the portfolio and then being of a good quality. A university degree gives you that. Of course, you're maybe not going to put your first year work in your final portfolio, but over those 3 years, you'll have built up the skills and you'll be well versed and practiced at building small portfolio pieces, and then you'll have stuff to showcase at the end. You're also going to be getting feedback from lecturers, from your peers, and hopefully also from industry. If your university is well connected and is working with the industry well, they should be bringing in guest lecturers, guest speakers, people to review your work all the time, and having like industry friends that come and see the stuff that you're doing. Therefore, you're getting sort of 3 different areas of feedback. It's also a time to practice. I think about my university experience, and I don't know another time where I could have spent 3 years practicing game art. I could have done it while working full-time. I did work while I was at uni, but it was part-time. I could have gone full-time and then practiced in my spare time and scrolled through all the YouTube tutorials that I could possibly find. And that is a valid way to do this. But I don't think, me personally, I would have got as far as I did than when I went to university. So practice time in a community, and the community is the big bit. You are already networking by going to university. You are making friends, you're making connections with the people who are going to be in the industry with you and might therefore have opportunities for you later. Now, not every degree is automatically worth it, right? And that's for many different reasons. Maybe your university that you've chosen to go to is really disconnected from the industry. Maybe it's 100% theoretical and you don't feel like you're getting the practical skills you need, or vice versa. There are some universities who teach very practical skills and cover almost none of the theory, meaning that once you leave that university and you go to work in industry, you're missing some of the fundamentals and you only know how to press buttons in an order. So look at the university, look at the modules that they're teaching, look at what they cover, look at the software that they cover, and decide whether that's worth it for you. Have a look at current student work. Every university has a show reel. Have a look and see if what is currently being made by current students is something you aspire to. Also, I want to fully admit that I think there are structural issues with the way that universities are run. I've worked at multiple universities now, and there are definitely structural issues inside of universities, and some of that can be to do with mismanagement of money, some of that can be to do with the way the structure of the organization is set up, senior leadership, middle management, down to lecturers and hourly paid lecturers. Like, the way that the organization is structured and works will also determine the type of experience that you get. And I'm also a big believer in that we should be pushing forward and pushing for change in our universities, and we should be asking for better. And as a lecturer, I want better, and I want my students to get more out of their university experience. But I keep hearing people just put university in a box and straight away say that it's not worth it. And I feel like that is hugely unfair to the people who are working in the universities, the people who are benefiting from degrees, because let me tell you, people are benefiting from degrees who are telling you now not to go to university. Think about that. Universities have also experienced years of government freezes. I know a lot of people say, where does that £9,000 plus go for home students? And yes, that is a lot of money, and it is a lot of money to take on as a debt each year, and I fully appreciate that. I'm also a big believer that the government should be making tuition cheaper for everybody, because I believe in education and the power of education to move people and to get people opportunities and advance them in their lives. But you have to remember that that £9,000-ish, nearly 10, isn't just going to your lecturer who teaches you. It's also going to keeping the building up and running. It's going to keeping the lights on. Even in summer, there are bills to pay. The internet bill is massive at a university. The power bills, like, it's to keep the whole facility running. Anything extra that is on top of your building. So at the university I work at, we have a shuttle bus that takes you across the different campuses, which is entirely free. All of that has to be paid for somehow. The coffee shop, the things that are on campus that need upkeep, that, you know, they're all subsidized if they don't make enough money through the sales of coffee, because coffee is cheaper on site, as is beer, as is pizza, as is, you know, anything that's run inside of the university is usually cheaper than stuff in the local area, because we know that students want and need that stuff, and therefore it's subsidized somewhat by the university. Graduation tickets to your graduation are subsidized by your university. Like, everything has a cost, and that is covered under that money that you pay every year. That does mean, though, that you should be keeping your university to account. If you feel like your university is not providing these things, these extras and these benefits to you, then you need to ask your course rep about them. You need to become a course rep. You need to make change. Everybody who is employed under the university, including student support, the mental health team, the people who review your essays and do academic help, all of those are services inside of the university. So you should be asking and using them. And there are so many students when they first come to university who do not use the support services that are already paid for and free for you. There's career help, there's CV and portfolio advice. All of that is inside of the university and free for you to use. Use it. I don't think it's about, is university worth it? It's about, is this university worth it? Is this course worth it? And is it going to benefit me and help me in my life? I hope that that is helpful for you. If you have any specific questions about games courses, games education, universities in general, I'd love to answer them. And I know that we're coming up on sort of clearing time. So if you are last minute thinking about applying for a university, feel free to ask questions. It doesn't specifically have to be about the university I teach at.